might not be here no more, but ghosts never die.
Now, first things first, I feel like the show could use a good villain. I feel like Tariq didn't really have much of a challenge in the first season compared to how Ghost had a challenge in the original series. Here and there would eventually be a villain that he would have to confront, and I feel like it just made the show that much more interesting. Some people could say Tupac could be a villain, but I would personally prefer someone around at the same age as him to be the villain, if we're being honest. I feel like it would just make the show more intense, and it would definitely make it more like the original series. In the first season, I feel like we were introduced to a lot of good characters, but in the end, I feel like there wasn't anybody out there in the show that I feel was a threat to Tariq at all. I feel like there is some things that he did, some choices that he made that will get him into trouble in the second season. Which leads me to the second thing that I want to see in the next season, and that is Kane and Tariq teaming up. I feel like they would make a great team up, especially if they have a lot of good scenes together, and Kane pretty much teaches him how to handle certain situations in the streets. The third thing would be Diana actually doing something this season, because I feel like, not to disrespect the character, but I didn't feel like she was doing anything in the first season. I hope that at least she gets to spend some time with her mom, or gets taught the game in some way, because her mom doesn't even want her to be in college for some reason. Hopefully, if she's not going to be part of the streets, hopefully she actually ends up joining college or something like that. The fourth thing I want to see is Lorenzo getting free. I feel like him being released from prison will add more drama to the show, and I feel like there's a good chance that he will. Like, I don't think he's in prison for doing a violent crime. Like, I don't really remember what he's in prison for, but I feel like his release would just make the show that much more, interesting. And there's a good chance that maybe he actually knew Ghost back in the days. We don't officially know that, but I feel like he could have known Ghost. The fifth thing that I would want to see in this next season is Kane versus the police. Just based on the death of Officer Ramirez, I know that the police are not going to stop looking for the killer. Whenever a police officer, we saw this in Raising Kanan, whenever something bad happens to a police officer, there's always, a blowback that happens, and I feel like Kane is going to have a tough season this season, unless somebody steps up and sort of takes the blame for him. The sixth thing I would want to see is Monet expanding her business, especially now that we know Tommy is going to be in Chicago. Chicago and New York are not that far away from each other, and I feel like it would make the spin-offs more interesting if we have more crossovers between the characters. And I feel like it would make season 2 that much more better than season 1. The seventh thing I would want to see in season 2 is Lauren finding out who Tariq really is. I feel like this is something the producers have been sort of working towards from the first season. There's a scene in the first season where Lauren explains the fact that her brother is in rehab from doing drugs, and I feel like she's going to have a negative reaction when she finds out who Tariq really is. And I feel like it should happen at a certain point. Season 2 of the original series was the season where Angela found out who Ghost really was, and I feel like it would make perfect sense if the same scenario plays out in the spinoff. Just think about it. The eighth thing I would love to see is Brayden getting into more trouble. I don't really feel like his character was challenged in the first season, so I would definitely love to see him in more situations where he's in danger or has to make a choice for himself, rather than depending on Tariq to do things for him, or sort of be friends with him just to be friends with him in the drug business, if you get what I mean. The ninth thing I would want to see is Simon and Tariq teaming up. In the final episode of the original series, they basically established the fact that Simon is going to be around and that he's going to be in control of truth. And I feel like Tariq can sort of try to expand the business, the drug business, right into truth. because Camp has confirmed that the show will take a turning point around the season 4 or season 5, around there. And there's a good chance that they're actually going to start doing that. They're going to start building towards that with this next season. Now, the 10th and final thing that I would want to see in this season is more hints of Ghost being alive, because just based on the theories that I've made, that you guys have seen, I know and I'm 100% certain that there's a huge possibility that Ghost is still out there. And there were a lot of clues that we saw in the first season of Power Book 2, certain things that I saw behind certain characters. I feel like they were there for a reason. Usually when TV shows film scenes, they have to close down the entire street in order to, have a production go through. And if you remember that scene in the cemetery when Tariq is at the gravesite and you actually see someone behind Tariq there, I feel like that was actually Ghost. Many people could argue and say that it was Sax, but Sax was already recording Tariq when this man was behind Tariq already. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Leave your predictions down below. What are some of the top 10 things that you would love to see personally on this new season? Let me know down in the comment section. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.